There are a couple things that you need to know when applying for a DSCR loan, whether you're purchasing or refinancing. I had an investor who missed one basic requirement, which caused him to not qualify for the loan. Watch until the end to learn what that one requirement was so that you can avoid it if you're applying for this type of loan. My name is Candy Katz. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I do upload videos weekly on mortgage tips and investment programs. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and let's dive right in. Let's start with what is a DSCR loan. For those that aren't aware, DSCR is short for debt service coverage ratio. It's a popular investment loan program for cash flowing properties. So whether you're Airbnb or if you're a short-term rental, long-term lease, so long your rent is covered by the mortgage. So for easy math, let's say your rent is $2,200 and your mortgage payment is $1,700. What we do is so long 90% of your rent, the $2,200, is higher than your mortgage payment. And in this case, it is. So let's take $2,200 times 90%. That would make $1,980 as what we can use to cover your debt. So your debt being $1,700, we're fine. There's instances where maybe your rent is lower than your mortgage. No worries. Your interest rate will just be adjusted or your loan to value will be lowered. And we'll get into that. But there's a few things that we want you to understand. The first thing would be pricing. Pricing a loan can vary based on the bank. This is a non-qualified mortgage, so you don't have to worry about your Fannie and Freddie Mae guidelines. They differ based on the investor that will be doing this type of loan. So I do send it out to 2 or 3 different banks. One in particular that I did was the scenario that I'm about to share with you. And how they price their loans is based on your experience. And what I mean by that is there's no primary home required in this case to qualify for this type of loan. However, this investor did have a primary and one investment property. So the experience can impact what your interest rate is. So if you have, say, 2 to 3 properties, you'll most likely qualify for the par rate. If this is going to be your first purchase because you're starting out, say, the BRRRR strategy, or you found a property that is move-in ready to lease out, your interest rate will be adjusted, call it 0.25, anywhere to 0.375% less than par. The other thing that can affect your interest or your pricing is the loan to value. The max loan to value available on these type of products is 80%. If you're going to be going lower than that, your price is going to be more favorable. And then the other thing that can affect your rate is, are you going to be putting this property into an entity, LLC, or will you be carrying it under your individual name? Some banks, investors would rather you put it into an LLC entity, and it's actually favorable, especially if it is an investment property. It's encouraged. I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not a business attorney, but that's something you may want to consider or reach out to inquire about that, just for less liability purposes. Second thing I want to touch on is, what are some of the required docs for this type of loan? Pretty standard. You'll need your driver's license. If you do own real estate, we'll need to request for the mortgage statement if it's free and clear. No worries there. But of course, other things attached to the property, such as hazard homeowners insurance, we'll want to make sure we connect with the agent or have a recent declaration page. What are the taxes on the property? Is there any HOA? And if there is, we're going to need that statement. In addition to the last 2 months bank statements. The reason being is we want to make sure that we can prove you have been collecting rent consistently. Okay, so that's what we're looking for on these bank statements. Additionally are the reserves. I'll touch on that here in a bit. If you made it this far into the video, drop DSCR below into the comments. And if you have any investor friends that can find this video useful or helpful, be sure to share this with them. So where did this investor fail, unfortunately, to qualify for the loan? It's the reserves. The beauty behind this product, if you aren't already aware, is there's no income history, there's no employment background check or anything like that we request. So we're not looking at any debt to income ratio, so long you have a cash flowing property. However, it is important to have the amount of reserves needed in the event that you default on the loan, the bank needs to feel confident that you can cover this note. Unfortunately, in this investor's position, the checking and savings account that he did have established had less than $1,500 in there. That was a big damper. Why? Because with his mortgage payment of $1,700 prior to taking out any cash or refinancing the loan, he would have needed to have at least 4 to 6 months of those reserves. So for easy math, let's just say your payment is going to be $2,000 a month. Let's make sure you have at least 6 months in your checking account, savings, 401k, money market, stock accounts, all of those viable institutions will suffice. You're going to need to have at minimum $12,000. Now, if you have other properties that you own aside from this one, make sure you have that same amount for each property. So even though he had the equity in his home, he was eager to pick up some more properties in this market. He unfortunately was not able to do that because he didn't have enough reserves. My solution here would be, if you are on the market to take out a DSCR loan as a purchase or to refinance and cash out on your equity, and you are expecting some cash, from another business, I'm not here to require you to have consistent deposits. I just need to make sure you have that money in your bank. And remember, because we're pulling 2 months bank statements, let's say if it is July today and you're wanting to cash out, have that money in July, in August bank statements. So come September, we'll be ready to rock. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I look forward to helping you or any family member or friends, and I'll see you guys on the next one.